All right, good evening, everybody. I'm System Chalk, and coming once again with Ike Upscribe, the Apostle Obsonate, and the story of the Order of the Bloody Cup. I think we were talking a little bit about some future plans at the end of the last episode, so I'm relying on this delightful blood to generate some dread for me, but one of the things that I had done was I started this painting, which I also think will potentially generate some dread for me as well. So I might actually wind up with more dread than I had anticipated, but I'm kind of setting in motion what will be the next sort of few steps in terms of just in terms of navigating the next few rounds. So for instance, I've got my talk verb open, I can get some new commissions, but I also have a bunch of mystique that I need to get rid of, and we're going to generate some notoriety out of our work slot as well as our expeditions. Now we don't need to worry about the we do not need to worry about the suppression bureau right now, but I do need to worry about where I'm getting my money from. So I'm probably going to try, if I can, to get at least one more expedition done. But I do need to think about the source of the money, and the most reliable way that I can do that is, in fact, to go back to the work site, which has caused a few injuries for me. And then if I get really desperate, I can start selling off some of my treasures, but that'll be the last resort. So that's what we're working with right now, and we'll see how well all of that turns out in the next few minutes. A worthy medium. What am I doing? And what have I done? This will break someone's heart. This will break someone's heart. Perhaps everyone's. I made something unique, something extraordinary, something I will never dare to exhibit publicly. This cannot possibly ever see daylight. It will earn no funds. Okay, optimism is the spice which saves, so we did get rid of one of the mystique. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to scoop up some commissions. I'm probably not going to work on them, but doesn't mean I can't put them in the queue. We've prepared the text for study. We have two more, the sky and the soul, and the Count of Kanishk at the spider's door. So this one is in Aramaic. The Sky and the Soul, the Grand Labor of Kal, an ascetic poet writing at the court of the court of the Shadowless Kings. All right, something unique. I've made something unique, something extraordinary, something I never. Okay, we've already done that. So I feel contentment as well as the dread. Apparently, we've got our glimmering from painting. Lots of glimmering. Got the icy atmosphere. Okay, so we've got another potential dread that's coming out of that. Here's the notoriety. Oh, 2 notoriety. All right. This is going to get exciting. The invocation of the ivory dove was what we used as an input. We've got our passion back. It's getting crowded here. And a painting of the wolf divided. Caput Garret Lupinium. The sun was divided, and this is its wound. Right, we'll put that near the bone. I think I'll just put it on the top. I think it's less than the bone flip. Oh, my bad. I always thought I put the higher value ones at the top. That's how I'm going to do it now, but it turns out it's the same as the manacles. So, okay, so now we got to think about the work verb. At the moment, I think just going to the work site is how I want to handle this. So now we're going to have restlessness. So I can paint with that if I want. I am going to need to deal with the dread coming from the icy atmosphere, or I'm going to need to convert it into something else. Either one will work for me, really. And Dr. Redeem has his commission for me, so he would like something on the secret histories. Let's talk with Madame Bichet. These don't take very long to run, so I don't mind queuing up some commission work and then going back to our reputation management. So Madame Bichet would like something on Forge, and then Count Jannings would like something on... Well, we'll find out. All right, so I really could have used that Season of Despair to not show up when it did. So this icy atmosphere is going to be a problem. This delightful blood is also going to be a problem. I will be able to deal with the delightful blood in time. The rest is anyone's guess. All right, the public gaze. I've used a follower who's too well known. The Suppression Bureau may hear of it. And light in the skull. Whenever the principle of lantern sheds its light, I may recall additional scraps of knowledge. Okay, so I sort of ignored the rest of the expedition here, so let's see how it went. Faint lines and stone surface that yields to pressure. We found it. The hidden door moves with a grating shutter and a shower of dust, so we only had 2 funds. It would have failed if we didn't pass. So here is Voivode's mausoleum. Swagged cobwebs hang like soft grey drapes. A great sandstone sarcophagus stands upright at the far end. It's empty. Someone has left a little heap of treasures before the sarcophagus like an offering. There are no footprints in the dust. Whoever left them here came long ago, or else no one, or has no need to touch the ground when they pass. Alright, so Clifton's back. We have an urgency of appetite again. We now have our 3rd notoriety. So we have a bunch of different risks to the run right now. So Violet's back. Callaghan's back. We have the 26 enticements, 7 torments, so that's one we can translate. The Book of Thrones, we can translate. Catalogue of Uncharted Pleasures, which we can translate. Gospel of Zacchaeus, which we can translate and is in Greek. And the Wakeful Tympanum. In the grove where they flayed the thunder, they rattled their instruments to rouse the frenzy. The power still clings like a scent. So this is a high-level heart artifact, so it'll complement our Meravine idol. Okay, so the question now becomes, do I want to try and go on an expedition? I will be earning, I'll be earning my funds for, I'll be able to cover the rent. The challenge is that if we fail one of the challenges, we're probably not going to be able to continue on. With that in mind, though, I'm still gonna give it a try. So Grunwald's Permanent Circus, a tiny city of patched tents around a whitewashed farm. Hunched performers shiver in the dripping rain. Frau Grunwald has devoted her considerable fortune to the maintenance of this institution. Who knows why? The circus performers dislike trespassers behind the scenes. Now, in the background, here's a couple of things that I'm thinking of right now. You might think that one of the approaches I would want to take would be, it's like, okay, well, we want to keep the hint, we want to keep the Callaghan or whatever. I actually don't mind the hint expiring anymore. Remember that we took the hint because the Season of Visions was giving us a threat of a loss due to having too much fascination. So if this hint goes away and we wind up with some fascination, well, I can use that to blunt any dread that we wind up generating. And so all of a sudden, I'm a little more comfortable getting rid of the hint here. There's other ways that I can manage it, but this is just sort of the way that I'm balancing things. Now that I know that there's going to be a Season of Despair coming up, I want to start thinking about some of the ways that I can neutralize some threats. Right now, Old Unhappy Far Off Things is a threat, This Delightful Blood is a threat, and This Delightful Blood will eventually become a threat as well. And while I do have some contentment for 35 seconds more, I don't have enough to basically be able to handle everything that I'm up against. And so just being able to try and make these numbers balance out is what I'm going to be attempting. So anyways, where were we? We'll again bring a pair of Callaghans. It may not even be what the expedition needs. It's just what I'm taking. The circus folk will be ready to take up arms against us, and the power of... Sorry. The circus folk will be ready to take up arms against us, and the power in the circus, we fear, may be worm-touched. Expeditions need... well, we've already got that, so... Okay, here's what he needs. Commission on Edge. And let's start dealing with reputation. Oh, we didn't get rid of any of the staleness. Okay, there's the dread, so in a few seconds we'll deal with that. I think let's just keep... So I could have burglary, but for now let's stay the course and talk about what good people we are. A half-glimpse wistfulness has touched me, so in 29 seconds I'm going to be able to paint that away. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I am sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions, it's over for now. This is the light in the skull, so whenever the principle of Lantern sheds its light, I may recall additional scraps of knowledge. So I'm not that worried about Lantern. And I can actually afford a potential fascination. So let's risk the painted river here, because I don't have a well, I can do a summoning. I could bring a maid in the mirror in if I wanted. I'm going to risk the painted river, though. Okay, fascination. Light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than it ever was. The higher I rise, the more I see. Now, normally this isn't a problem, but this actually helps me a little bit. So, entering the stag door, I dreamt of the mansis behind the white door, of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movement of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colors still. So, of course, this is kind of a neat point in the playthrough where you kind of see we've been laying low, maybe going a little stir crazy. So the fascination is starting to creep up. Now that we've managed that, we did a private painting. We maybe started doing some more esoteric art, or maybe we started doing something a little weird. But of course now we're getting the dread. We're seeing the money fall down. We've got some trouble with our with the board. And so a lot of these last couple of episodes have just been dealing with the emotional state of our character. And this is kind of a neat one because, of course, we have been laying low for so long and trying to deal with the suppression bureau. So again, this is one of these things that's neat about playing narrative games, but particularly narrative games like this, where everything is represented in these little fragments. You can kind of paint whatever you want in terms of the story that's going on. But of course, we do eventually have to deal with this stuff. So I have my dread. Let's start by getting rid of the dread with the contentment. So the contentment's gone in 19 seconds. So the next dread that emerges in 36 seconds... Okay, this icy atmosphere doesn't turn into dread, so we don't actually have anything that's going to turn into dread in time for the passage of time. So one of these things is going to get eaten up by the event. The next ones, though, I may be able to combine with the fascination. We'll see. Light in the skull, dusty facts have become clear in my brain, for now at least. The public gaze, right, fourth notoriety. We'll be getting a fifth before too long. The expedition continues. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. Did I actually read the... Yes, I did. So we'll be able to deceive them with our moth. We're fine with that. And the worms in the world will need lantern or moth to suppress this curse. Otherwise, it will not keep us from our goal, but it may trouble us later. Okay, so I don't have as much of a need for the fascination anymore, so the hint goes back. There's our erudition. And we have translated the sky of the soul. In this case, I'm going to keep, well... Let's have an adventure. The Iron Book, the Manual of the Limea, an order of quasi-immortals who maintained a secret enclave at the source of the river Limea in the Roman province of Hispania Gallicaea. This manual was completed by one Yivni, who claims to have traveled to join the Ordo from the crossroads of the waters. Members of the Ordo took an oath, the iron chain that required them to remain hidden from the world. This manual includes presumably long obsolete addresses and passphrases that could have been used to find the Ordo's contact in the town of Iria. Okay, the day is done, but so am I. But I've earned my pay. So let's go back to painting. In this case, I'm going to double passion, double notoriety. And what do I want to use as my inspiration? The restlessness. This should have an impact. So of course this is in hopes of generating some contentment, but there are some other things that I might be able to get out of this as well. And of course I'm preventing the dread from being created. So this illness has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I'm fully recovered. We've got plenty of vitality. The question more is how do I use this vitality in a time frame that also prevents more dread from coming up. Closer, closer still, closer. Keep looking, closer. Now close your eyes. Okay, let's bring... Well, no, let's wait. We'll wait because if we fail this, then I don't want to have a cult member in the expedition. All right, the sun still moves, the wind still walks. My journals are the labyrinth clue. So, I'm really just trying to think if there's a way that I can use my dream effectively right now. 36 seconds. It'll pick up this chilly atmosphere. I'll take a minute here. I believe I should be able to cure my affliction. Because again, we need at least one dread to be picked up. For this thing to be satisfied. Exceptional work. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction. I forgot to put money in for the paints, but I suppose it doesn't matter because I don't have any. Okay, we generated mystique off of that. We got some glimmering. Where's my contentment? Well, the good news is we got paid well. Excuse me. So maybe I want to go and excuse me, do this again. I can't paint my fascination because I need that to eliminate some of the dread. I could paint the fleeting reminiscence though. Let's do that again. We'll double up the notoriety, and we will. We'll still use passion because I'm still hoping to get rid of the. I'm still hoping to get rid of the. I am still hoping to get rid of. I'm sorry, I completely blanked. But yeah, we'll paint it out again. This is going to turn into dread, and then from this delightful blood, we neutralize it with a fascination. Hopefully, we get contentment out of this. Right, we're good. And then I have a leftover fleeting reminiscence if I miscalculated. Okay, let's go back to managing my reputation. Not everyone is sympathetic to our aims. But if we have problems with a reputation, our disciple can probably smooth them over. All right, the Iron Book. The final part of the manual describes punishments for Ordo members who break their oath of secrecy. This includes an invocation to summon the spirit called King Crucible as an agent of vengeance. Yivni cautions that this must be a last resort when and the Oathbreaker would otherwise go unpunished. Summoning King Crucible might draw the personal attention of the Forge of Days. So we've got the Khalidate invocation. The names of the Forge have all spoken these words. So it's funny, they talk about summoning King Crucible, but we know that that's not actually enough. Well, I suppose you don't know what I was what I was looking at summoning earlier. But that is not actually sufficient to summon King Crucible. Come on. Let's read The Burning Woman, a transcription of the play by Menander the Victor, possibly the dramatist of this name, into Frisian with commentaries. We've already done the translation. The play describes a pilgrimage of smiths and adepts following the trial of the burning woman who has appeared in all their dreams and given each a wound and a word. So I'll be reading that. There's the dread. We knew that was coming. Oh, but it's going to take 13 seconds. I just earned myself 2 dread out of that. I was not thinking this through. If I could ditch the delightful blood, I would. But unfortunately, I can't paint with it. Okay. I need to generate contentment because I miscalculated. Expedition continues. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. We are looking against Lantern, so let's send Cat Caro to deal with the worms in the world. Alright, another vial of blood. Paul Samuelson's getting a little insistent. Okay, so I guess the question now is, do I have anything that will potentially generate dread? Only books, so I think I need to keep my reading to a minimum for the next little while. Passion intensity, I see the mistakes, I can also see the end. So if I can minimize the number of things that will generate dread, I could probably see my way out here, but that's a big if. Some contentment will go a long way. Finished. Exceptional work. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction. The artist's reward. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. So even more mystique. Okay. Much needed contentment. Double contentment. Okay, that's even better. More glimmering. Now, normally I would be using this to upgrade some secret histories, but we've got other things to do with this study verb right now, so I'm okay leaving that aside. I've got another notoriety. Oh, no, sorry, this is notoriety we had already. There's our open soul, and we've gotten rid of the staleness, and we've got a trio of funds. So I'm feeling okay about where we're standing right now. We're pretty much to the end of our time, but let's just take a second here and think about how the next few moments are going to work. So in 24 seconds, Dread is going to want to pick something up. It's going to pick up the contentment, and then I'm going to be clear for another minute. If I can preserve the contentment, that's what I want to do. Okay, so we're going to again double up the notoriety and the passion. In this case, I'll use contentment as an inspiration, so this is going to preserve it for a little bit longer. As long as we don't generate any more dread, I'm going to be able to use that to get rid of the second layer of dread. And because I don't need this fleeting reminiscence anymore, this will be gone in 40... Well, yeah, it's going to be gone in 46 seconds, so I don't exactly need to neutralize it right now. As an alternative, I can go into the Mansis. Am I willing to risk generating more fascination? Yes, I am. So we'll enter the stag door, and for the next few turns, we will get rid of the despair. We'll continue to read our books. We're actually already doing better as far as our expeditions are concerned. So I've got enough money painting that I should be able to finance at least a trip to Tower Revik, if not Foxley Meadows. Foxley Meadows will almost certainly have 3 challenges that I need to overcome, so I need to make sure that I'm a little bit better financed for that. But following that, we will have exhausted all of our expeditions, at which point we really do need to double down on studying the secret histories and reading the books that we already have. Of course, all of that will be happening next week, so as always, thank you very much for watching. If you've not yet subscribed, I would love it if you do that. I've been delighted by the growth to the channel as a result of this, and certainly the fact that it's been Cultist Simulator driving that has motivated me to do more Cultist Simulator stuff. And if you do enjoy the videos, I always appreciate a comment or a like or both. And of course, if you didn't like the video, that's fine. You can also express that through a dislike. I have not yet generated too much dread off of that. But until next week, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.